from. If anyone joins.
The link, this should just appear.
Should just come up in the Facebook group, I think.
There we go, there we are.
Can't comment to groups. What is this? Profiles due to Facebook restrictions. Oh, what? Sick of these restrictions, you know.
Is it different to last time?
Does that mean we can't comment or people can't comment? We can't see name. Oh, okay. So copy link. Sorry, set one, guys. So we're not going to be able to see the names of or profile pictures of viewers in the comment section. So we're going to put this link in below the live here, and you'll be able to. I think you give permission to the software to see your name.
Yeah, looks like it's working.
Yeah. It's cool, yeah. I think you give permission. Still look behind.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll keep this up and then actually you can just see the comments.
Did that comment come up on the bottom of the link? Can you pin that comment somehow, maybe? Oh, God's sake. No, can I pin it?
You probably can, master of the group.
It's not.
Hi, guys.
Ah, pin comment. There we go. Okay, that's cool. We've got a few people on. Hello, everybody. Where are you watching from? Can you comment? I don't know.
Yeah, look, we've got some here.
Oh, cool. But it's not coming up in the software here. That's the thing. So it's all new. We are trialing this software and trying to get our heads around it. With Facebook restrictions, things are a little stiff on the privacy, so it can be a bit hard on the comments. But hopefully, we're going to get there.
Yeah. Okay. There we go.
Facebook user. So if you click the link that's in the comments out, I'll give you the permissions. I'll see your name.
Right.
Good to go. We're gonna get going with it. It's 2 minutes past. So welcome everybody. This is the second of our Digital Nomad live interviews. We're going to start doing these every first Sunday. I'm Alex. This is Amy.
Hello. So tonight we are talking to Tom. Tom has managed to take the skills that he's acquired in his brick and mortar job, his previous job, and turn them into an online business that he is able to run remotely.
So we're going to be like digging into his journey a bit into his business, how it operates, and it is a niche business, but I think with any business that becomes remote, then there's hurdles in there that benefit anybody.
Yeah, we can all learn from them.
Should we get more?
Yeah, that's good. Can everyone hear us okay, actually, before we get going?
Watching from the deepest, darkest Newcastle in time. Weather good in the UK, yeah.
It sounds lovely, Keith.
We're in Spain, by the way.
Yeah.
The weather's not great, though, to be honest. Okay, let's bring Tom in.
I like how it counts down.
What's up, folks?
Hi, Tom. Welcome.
How's it going?
All good?
Yeah, all good. All sounds good. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yeah. Well, we can.
We can. Yeah.
I'm sure someone will let. If they can't, they'll let us know.
And you're in the UK at the moment, Tom?
I am indeed. Yeah. It's as I say, mentioned just before going live that literally just starting to see the second wave of snow coming in. So depending on where you are, yeah, should be getting some snow tonight, which should be fun.
I'm slightly jealous, actually.
Do you have a snowboard?
Do you have a snowboard?
I don't. But hey, I mean, to be honest, we didn't get a chance to actually properly enjoy the last bit of snow that we had a couple of weeks ago. You know, just had my head down, working. So hopefully we should be able to get out and have a little bit of fun. But
yeah.
Very nice, very nice. So Tom, tell us a little bit about yourself. So you run Tiny Build Electrics. Have I got that right?
Yes. So yeah, my name's Tom. I spent over a decade as a professional kitchen fitter, so a domestic kitchen fitter for a high-end domestic, a high-end department store. Can I say which department store? I guess I can. It was for John, for John Lewis. John Lewis. So basically, folks that would go into John Lewis looking for a new kitchen. This is normally where most people say, I didn't even know John Lewis did kitchens, but they do some sort of fancy sort of designer kitchens, and we would go in to a customer's house, take out their old kitchen, put in the new one, and quite often that would include, complete rewiring of the kitchen, replacement of the consumer units for all the fuse boards, fitting the kitchens. So you probably get a little bit of a taste of our van. So it kind of a lot of the doors and baskets and all that kind of stuff all just came directly out of kitchens. So did have more or less everything, most things in the van, at least in terms of like the main cabinetry and furniture and stuff, is all made or repurposed effectively, which is nice. But we
it's free, right? Is this what you took it, or it was all free from being taken?
Yeah, effectively. Yeah. So that kind of leads me on to why it is that I kind of left that role, or like left that position. I mean, primarily because being very much into sustainability, as we touched on in our sort of pre-call chat, being able to try and repurpose as much stuff as possible is something that is sort of near and dear to me. And in my line of work, we were taking out kitchens that did not need replacing, and sometimes ripping out granite worktops that have only been installed for like 18 months, for example, and then putting new ones in. And obviously I would try and repurpose as much stuff as possible, but there's only so much that one little guy can do. But so it was around that time that we kind of discovered, funnily enough, Alex, you were one of the first guys that we came across in terms of the van life community. And as soon as I saw that was a potential lifestyle, a potential solution, let's say, to alternative living, that was when I kind of had the epiphany moment, and then just the penny dropped, and then went straight headfirst into all things vans.
Wow.
Nice.
So van came before business.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, spent a lot of, as everyone does, fortunately there's a lot of crossover between my job, my previous jobs. So obviously carpentry and plumbing and electrics and all of the stuff that is very sort of prevalent in the van build. But it was definitely the van first, and then learning. Well, it was actually quite a lot. Spent hundreds and hundreds of hours. What felt like hundreds and hundreds of hours answering a lot of people's questions and concerns and worries, and giving tips and tricks on Instagram. And I knew in the back of my mind that I wanted to effectively try and figure out a way to monetize some sort of service or something to enable, digital nomadicism, effectively.
Right.
So and for whatever reason, I knew that I had a skill set, but I didn't know how to apply it, because I've only ever worked with my hands. I've only ever worked with hundreds of different tools and different things. So being able to the idea of working with one tool was very alien to me, and I didn't quite know how to approach it. But I knew in the back of my mind that I wanted to figure out a means, and I didn't realize that it was staring me in the face, because I was just giving out so much information and helping people out, which was great fun. I don't regret a minute of that. I love helping people, and it's very rewarding to do that. But as soon as I kind of realized, I'm giving out this information. Maybe there is a potential to effectively capitalize on it.
Yeah. So that's why we actually wanted to bring you on, Tom, because I think a lot of people, they know what they're doing when they're at work, and they know they have skills, but they don't actually know how they can transform what they've got in front of them into an online job, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a difficult one to slice, you know, especially if you come from a different background, and it's, you know, as you say, if you don't, I was the furthest away from a computer-based job, let's say. It was very, very alien to me. But I think ultimately, it kind of sounds cliche, but I think if you have passion, if you have a passion about a certain thing, I mean, if it happens to intertwine with, you know, alternative living, you know, whether that's van life, whether it's boat life, or whatever, if there is something which can sort of complement that, and you can offer a solution to someone's problem, then there's effectively potential in that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
How did you find that transition then, going from like rather than the physical to the digital stuff? How about from the helping people for free, and then starting to charge for that? How was the transition in that? First of all, like was it? Yeah.
Well, I mean, difficult. More mentally mentally difficult. So, for my sins, I am a people pleaser. You know, I like helping people. I like providing help, and can be quite selfless in that respect. So learning that it's okay to effectively, like, if you're offering a potential solution to someone's problem, then that is, you know, it is viable. So it was more a personal hurdle to get over, the fact that, you know, that it's okay to charge for a service, or to accept payment. So that was probably one of the hardest things. But in terms of the actual implementing it, it kind of like organically unfolded fairly quickly, but like naturally, but fairly quickly. If that makes sense. So fortunately, there are a bunch of great platforms. I mean, in terms of like being quite passionate about self-sufficiency, you know, I kind of modeled my way through building the website, my own website on Squarespace, like many people do, and figured out a way to get to a point where I kind of had the infrastructure to sort of implement it, and then it kind of just, you know, it's just growing from there, really.
Yeah.
And where did you, before we get into the services and things that you actually offer, where did you find this information to, so for example, to create your website, to start charging, how you could find your clients, things like this? Did you have any specific resources that you used, or?
No. I mean, other than, I mean, Instagram is basically where everything started, and realistic. I mean, to be honest, it's where a lot of the customer interaction still comes through. So I do have other, obviously, social media platforms, but primarily Instagram was there, and obviously being a fairly sort of a vocal member of the community in terms of, you know, already offering advice and assistance to people. Fortunately, there was like a steady trickle of potential leads, if you will, sort of coming in already. So it was just a case of finding that part within myself to be like, okay, rather than approach this message as sort of free information, gonna sort of try and redirect it, you know, redirect that funnel, if you will, towards the website. And so it's definitely like a slow process, but definitely a very sort of natural, organic thing. And as I say, definitely learning on the job, and didn't necessarily have any particular resources or anything. But I imagine if I had them at my disposal and I knew where to look, then it would certainly have helped.
Yeah, sure.
So was there any people that you had already helped for free, and then you kind of then converted them to paying customers, or were the paying customers all new people who come to you like, oh, I actually charge my services?
Yeah, I think because obviously, because the industry and the community has sort of grown so exponentially over the past few years,
Mm-hmm.
and there's so many new builds and so many new people like coming in every single day to the community. Normally, what like after helping with a particular problem, it tends, the most of the interactions tend like they tended to be fairly simple, straightforward. Like a one simple solution rather than ongoing. For the vast majority of people, so it was normally just new customers every time. So fortunately, any previous customers, all new customers tended to be new customers, and fortunately, I was able to redirect them, and it. I mean, hopefully, it kind of it came across with a degree of professionalism. But,
you're saying about like the personal barrier of being able to charge for your services initially. I think that I think this is true, that if people are paying you for a service and then you can invest that money back into it, and you're going to end up returning them a better service in the future anyway.
Yeah.
Would you say
absolutely?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Wholeheartedly. I mean, it kind of sounds again. For fear of sounding too cliche, everything that I have done thus far and everything that I plan to do moving forward is only for the betterment of the community, and for the betterment, again, kind of sounds cliche, the betterment for the planet. The fact that I spend every day designing renewable energy systems, that really is where my heart and soul primarily sort of sits. And if I can help people sort of facilitate their adventures and help them get off the grid in order to follow their dreams and to be able to work remotely, so on and so forth, then that's, I think as long as you've got good intentions, then you're doing something right.
You're good in the heart, at least.
Yeah.
Even if it's not pocket straight away, maybe that'll come later. I'm going to try and share comments here on because we're going to play a bit with this software, Facebook user though. I'd like to say someone's name, but it's nice. Oh, it says it. Let's see if this how this works. Oh, there we go. You can't see this, can you, Tom? I don't think.
I can see you just about on my phone.
So there's a comment up from it says, "Hi Tom, it's is it the stealth Glamper?" Nice.
Okay,
work.
yeah, name rings a bell.
Yeah.
Hey folks.
Nice.
There you go. It's working there.
Oh, okay.
So it does come out.
It's a bit of a delay.
So, Tom, what services do you actually offer then?
Okay, so we provide several different services. To start with, our main service, if you will, is like a system sizing service. So most folks who are new to the community, they know what they want to achieve. They know that they want to live in a van. They know that they want to live off grid, ideally, and they know that they want to have, if you look around your van, they know they want to have an oven, a fan, a method of heating, so on, like all of the standard consumers in a van, but they don't necessarily know how to crunch all the numbers and how to properly size their system. So we will sit down. So our sizing service will consist of an hour consultation. So just like you and I are sat here now, we'll sit down. You'll talk, bring your list of all the loads that you would like to include in your van. So as we mentioned, lights, fans, and everything in between. And then we will crunch those numbers, agree on like the estimated time of use. We'll then be able to formulate your recommended battery size, and then once we've got your battery size, then we can work out your recommended solar size, and then from there, obviously MPPT size, inverter size, so on and so forth. And then once we've got all of those main constituents like calculated, then we've got what we need to move on to our next service, which is effectively we can provide provide the system. We can get the system delivered to you. Whether that is, I mean,
just before you're going to go further with that, is that through affiliates, or is it your how are you working with the products there?
So initially we were a van consultancy, like a blanket van consultancy. So we were offering bespoke advice for general van builds, and then I spent probably 95% of my time doing solely electrical work. You know, the vast majority of people were looking for assistance with electrics. So yeah, it was when we niched down to a electrics only company, we were working quite closely with effectively working with providing parts lists with links for customers to provide their own products, and then literally out of the blue was fortunately approached by numerous companies where so we can basically they approached us. So for example, work quite
they see where did they see? Was that on Instagram they saw your activity on there, or
yeah. And then you know, a few saw our website, a few saw our Facebook, and fortunately we were basically able to bring together and sort of collaborate, if you will, with all of those manufacturers and those brands, and provide products to get effectively have our own stock, and then ship those products out to our customers. Which really helps to be able to take that extra burden off of the customer. So rather than saying, okay, here's all of the components that you need to go and buy, then they still need to go and buy all of those separately. And then, so rather than sending them on the wild goose chase, we can say, well, you know, now that we've appropriately sized your system, should you be interested, we can obviously get everything to your door. And then, yeah, it kind of, fortunately, it was again quite an organic process. They fortunately came to us. So yeah, it's been a really nice sort of evolution, if you will.
Cool. Yeah. Sorry, Tom, I interrupted you about your services.
No, okay. So yeah, the sizing service sets the tone. So that's like the 101, if you will. And then once we've completed that, we can provide the system, and then once we've got all of that in hand and the orders processed, then we can effectively take that completed quotation, if you will, and then apply that to a schematic drawing. So as I mentioned, well, I didn't mention, but I work closely with Victron. So we work direct with Victron, and we have access to their sort of schematic drawing software. So if you've seen any of Victron's schematics online, where they use the really nice, easy to read, easy to digest sort of schematic layouts. So we can basically take all of the parts that we've quoted for, and we can use that as a checklist and make sure that every single part on that list is included in their wiring diagram. And then that wiring diagram will include, so for example, let's say let's say you've got two 200-watt solar panels. They'll come into your MPPT charge controller. And then from there, you know, there'll be the cables in between, and then the cable sizes, the breaker sizes, all of the information that you need to make the installation as smooth and as painless as possible. It's all there, and then it's just a case of effectively putting together like an IKEA kit. So you've got the parts, you've got the instructions, you just have to connect the dots.
Perfect.
Okay, so you've got someone in the comments asking, what is a schematic?
Schematic. So yeah, forgive me. A schematic is effectively a wiring diagram. So literally, wiring diagram being a PDF document of your system laid out. So for example, let's say our screen here is the PDF document. You'll have your inverter here, your solar panels here, your charge controller here, and then your sort of DC distribution box in the middle, and then your batteries, and then it'll just link everything together. It shows you the routes of all the cables, shows you the cable sizing, the fuse sizing, so you can.
It's a comprehensive plan, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. I'm gonna post a link in the comments here, guys, where you can join the video chat, hopefully. anyone has any questions for Tom, my keyboard doesn't work very well. Join the
While Alex does
join the
that,
feed.
Tom,
Should I put join the feed?
join the feed. Yeah, I've got a quick question. When you're fitting these vans for people and all their electrics and stuff, have you had any weird, techie, cool things that you've not thought about putting in a van before that someone's asked you to sort the
Well,
electrics out for?
to touch on your point there, the actual physical fitting we don't currently offer. It's something that we're working towards, because obviously being a small independent business, and currently it is just myself. It's very hard for me to justify. Obviously, with the van life community being so large. So, for example, I've got a call this evening with a guy in LA. I've got calls with. We often work with folks internationally, so Germany, France, and then obviously within the UK, Ireland, Northern Ireland, Scotland. It's somewhat unfair to offer a fitting service for only a very small number of folks. So until we're in a position where we can offer a more comprehensive fitting service, then the way that we work at the moment is we work direct with the clients to design their system, provide their system, give them all of the relevant information and like resources to fit the system themselves, and then we provide sort of comprehensive customer support. So again, just like a call like now, so whether that's a Zoom call or a WhatsApp call, we can help someone when in the back of their van and they've got their head underneath the garage and they're trying to fit stuff. We can effectively be there and help them.
So yeah, keep it remote, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Can you just ask the audience 1 second if they can see that link I shared to join the feed? Because I can't see it on that feed. That's not showing.
Yeah,
Is it?
this one is slightly delayed, but it is
not that far delayed, though, is it? No.
Yeah. Oh, you mean
yeah. Like there should be a link in the comments, but I don't know.
I
don't think it's worked.
The comments up here.
But to touch on your second point, Amy, we do get some. We do get some interesting components that people like to include in their vans.
I'd be really interested to know, to be honest.
The coolest one, without a doubt, was a really high-powered telescope that a guy was going to be using through his skylight in his room, and that was really cool. Like being able to provide that, making sure that he's got the facilities and the capacity to power, his high-powered telescope is really cool.
Yeah.
Something else that was really cool is a customer who was looking for solutions, solar solutions and roof rack solutions, storage solutions, like as you can imagine, trying to incorporate as many things as possible, and for things to be multifunctional is kind of imperative in van life, and something that we're going to be certainly try to work on is a client of ours. He wants to have a fold up basketball a basketball hoop and backboard, but the trick is the multi-purpose is the backboard is going to be a solar panel, so he wants to be able to hold that.
Yeah, that's insane.
So I mean, we're still in the kind of the design stages, let's say, and obviously it's going to be the tough part is for him to obviously to work with his roof rack fabricator to actually orchestrate the actual mechanics of it. Obviously we can only supply the solar panels, but we're really looking forward to seeing how that if that can come to fruition, because that would be really cool.
I would love to see that if we can see a picture when it's done. That'd be amazing.
Absolutely. As soon as we get some further details, of course, and that's to say, hopefully it works, and we can show it.
Even so, we still want a picture.
Yeah.
I have a question,
Go on.
Tom. What was your most enjoyable part of your, not only the business but the lifestyle it provides in terms of, I'm assuming the freedom of moving around?
Yeah. So as I say, in my previous line of work, all I've ever known is waking up, traveling to work, grafting, coming home, and not being able to, effectively living for the weekend, like so many of us have, like we've kind of been brought up to do. So effectively figuring out a means to enable more sort of comprehensive travel, like being able to go somewhere and not have to worry about being back by Monday morning, like that is really, really quite liberating. But in terms of the actual the rewarding part of my job, is really, as I touched on earlier, is first and foremost, I mean, helping people who are struggling. A van build or a tiny build is supposed to be, a really life-changing experience, like figuring out a way to change your circumstances to live by your own, live by your own rules, and be more self-sufficient, and being able to facilitate people and help people to achieve that, is definitely is definitely up there as the most sort of rewarding part. And then a very close second is obviously, as I touched on, the renewable energy side of things, so the sustainability side of things, like being able to help people live very, very comfortably, so to be able to have induction stoves and sometimes air conditioning and Xboxes and projectors and Vitamixes for smoothies, and being able to live as indulgently as you wish, but being able to sustain that with renewable power. That is like it allows you to have your cake and to eat it. Like it's a beautiful thing.
A day for us.
I have a question actually on my Instagram from somebody. Hopefully they'll be on the live as well. You want to ask a question?
Yeah, while Alex finds that, I'd like to know if
found it.
For anyone who's looking to do a similar thing, if they have a skill that they want to take online and offer a service, is there any tips that you could offer them if they are starting out, based on your own kind of like challenges and the things that hurdles that you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm by no means a glowing example. In terms of my experience, I have very much, it has just been an organic, natural progression. But I would say, if you have something that you feel you can bring to the table, and you can, if you can take someone from position A, where they are frustrated or stressed or whatever that point A is, and you can bring something to the table to interact with this, with this potential client, and bring them to a point B where they are more at ease, have a better understanding, and are happy and are excited to go on to that next step rather than daunted, or stressed, then you're effectively doing something right, and that is effectively a service. So from my experience, I spent a lot of time giving advice, purely because when you get that reward, and the reward being someone saying thank you and someone saying that it's really helped them, if you can do that for maybe for a spell, like your own sort of probation period, if you will, and if you're getting results in that people feel fulfilled and you've helped them, then you kind of know that's a viable potential, right?
That's beautiful.
And if those questions or those DMs, whatever they are, like if they keep trickling in, and you keep giving the advice and you keep getting happy responses, then you're kind of working on that sales funnel already, aren't you?
You're not just working. It becomes like a passion and a vocation in a way. I wish I had you about my van. The electrics were the most stressful thing. I did all by myself. I remember lying on the floor just in tears one day, thinking I'm never going to get to Spain.
No. That is what we're trying to avoid.
Yeah, wow. So if anyone's like that, just give Tom a call.
Yeah, I mean, the beauty is on that part is, the way that we look at it is, obviously there is a lot of information. There is a lot of potential. There is a lot of potential danger, of course, like with lots of aspects.
Yeah.
Potential danger with water. There's potential danger with gas, of course. But if you can understand, first and foremost, if you can understand the principles, and you can respect the science and respect the process, and kind of get a basic understanding of those principles, and know that this leads to this, and this, you don't necessarily need to know precisely how the MPPT functions and how that maximum power point tracking actually works. Like, you don't have to sort of get bogged down in the minutiae of the science, but as long as you have an understanding of its function, and what and how to protect, how important sort of the protection and the cable sizing part is, and you can follow the schematics that we provide, then we can avoid those moments where you are lying on the van floor and crying, because you don't have to know everything necessarily. You just have to understand the basics and respect the principles, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to sort the tech out here. So I'm sorry. I am.
So your question from Instagram, did you manage?
Oh,
to
sorry. Yeah,
find
I'll go
that
back to that. I'm scattering about here.
This is an
While I come to
electric-based
that, Muddy Marvis, would you want to come on the feed with a camera to ask you a question? If not, we'll just ask Tom anyway. But there is a link. Oh, it's YouTube. You see, I've just noticed here. It tells us
some people on YouTube
and some on Facebook.
It's quite a new thing for us, guys.
Yeah, sorry guys. The link is in the YouTube. So if you'd like to come on, please just click the link. What do you want?
Yeah, I do feel like I've got the easy job. I kind of have to just sit here and.
Yeah.
And you've got a beer. Have you? Did you bring a beer?
Pardon?
Did you bring your beer?
No, water.
No.
Water.
I thought you had a beer
God,
as
I
well.
wish we had a beer.
Yeah.
I'm not. As I say, as I mentioned in our previous conversations, I'm not going to be that guy. Like I love hanging out with friends, and I love the odd beer. But if you're not drinking, I'm not going to be that guy. Don't worry.
In 48 hours, Tom,
we took dry January to the next level. We're going to dry. We're like, but a habit takes 40 days to.
Apparently.
So 40 days is on Tuesday.
40 days to break a habit.
Tomorrow. Oh, Tuesday.
And 6 months to build a new one. Who knew?
Yeah.
Quick question.
And of course, I've got a call at 9:30, so I can't be.
Yeah.
Can't be drinking on the job.
No, people are getting electrocuted everywhere. Okay. I have a question came to on Instagram today. Kian Haynes, 28. It's a more electrical one, more than
showing off his electrics.
More than a digital nomadism one. How can someone get? I don't even know what this is actually. How can someone get started with repairing, building valve amps? What's a valve amp?
Valve amps.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of the application, we'd have to know a little bit more with regards to with regards to the application. Obviously, it's fairly ambiguous. It could be talking about numerous different things.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not even sure what a valve amp is. What is it?
Well, I mean, in terms of
hypo, maybe.
My experience is more with music.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Interesting. Okay. So Keith in the comments has actually brilliant questions to do with business and how you're running things.
You can ask it, but I'm also going to pop it up on there.
Okay, good idea. So
also, Keith, obviously, if you want to come on the camera, we want to test this technology out. So please click the link and comment if you'd like to.
Yeah, we'll have a chat. Yeah. So he says, are you completely independent? Do you have an address to host your business, and have you ever had any issues running your business without a fixed address? So I guess do you have
fortunately we do have a home base currently. The way things are, we had intentions of being full-time before let's say the world kind of ended the way that it did. And so we were in a position where we had a base, and it makes sense for us to retain that, certainly in terms of business. It's something that we're going to be obviously tackling when we're in a position that we can facilitate long-term travel. Then that's most likely the route that we will take in terms of having some sort of fixed business address. I mean, as a legality, that is required. So that is effectively a caveat, let's say. It's definitely something that we're going to have to do some more digging on in terms of finding a solution for the fixed abode address, let's say. Fortunately, and for the foreseeable future, we're in a position where we do have a fixed address that we can use for business, business addresses, so on and so forth.
Thank you for that, Keith, and thank you, Tom. What's this question here?
We're getting up to a 9:45.
Oh yeah, okay, we're getting on. Maybe we'll say one more question after this one, guys, and then we'll head off, because I know, Tom, you have a call with across the pond, hey?
Across the pond, yeah, LA of all places. But obviously, due to the time zones, we have to be a little bit flexible with our hours. I guess that's something else to touch on in terms of work is being prepared to put in the hours. I quite often at the moment, this is definitely a full-time position, and sort of certainly isn't passive. I'm working sometimes sort of at a minimum 10 to 12 hours a day, but often sort of 14 to 16. So it can be you sort of do have to be comfortable with getting out of your comfort zone in terms of hours. And so yes, something to bear in mind. But fortunately, if you're passionate about what you do, then quite often it actually becomes more a point of having to put the work down and give yourself time off, if that makes sense.
I was going to say, man, I bet you still wake up in the morning buzzing to get out of bed and get on with it. Eh?
Yeah. So yeah, it is definitely a big drive, but I mean, certainly if you do have like that tunnel vision and you are focused and you are driven, then yeah, having the strength and the structure to say, okay, no more work for today. Can be difficult. It can be difficult.
Would you like to read this question out for Tom here? Or?
Oh, I'll give it a go. Okay, so we have somebody. I'll
Facebook
see if I can
user.
find. Oh, it's Matt Cowley actually. Is my 130? Yeah, no, it's man things.
Milliamp hours.
milliamp hours. Lithium battery takes 10 hours of driving to recharge. I have tried adding a voltage booster, but I haven't been able to drive since. But surely it's the current that is the issue? Question mark. How can I resolve this? So, did you get that, Tom, or do you want me to read out again?
Yeah, I got the gist of it. It depends ultimately on what on what appliance, what component that it is that he's using to charge his lithium battery. So, for example, we tend to gravitate more towards DC to DC converters, or B2Bs, for example, as they're often known. So you can get obviously different size battery to battery converters. So some can be as low as sort of 18 amps. Some can be upwards. Well, the biggest model that we do work with is a 100 amp buck boost. So let's say you're driving for 1 hour, and the batteries are at a low state of charge. So when you're charging in that sort of bulk phase, you can expect to see somewhere in the region of sort of 95 to sort of 97 amp hours going back into the battery. So if you've got a 100 amp hour battery and you're driving for 1 hour with a 100 amp DC to DC, then you should be well on your way to achieving a fairly decent charge. So it just comes down to what device they're using to charge their lithium bank, so on and so forth. But so if they provide a little bit of a little bit of insight as to
I was going to say, if we could put some links at the end, Tom, maybe where Matt can contact you and ask you in a bit more detail and have a little.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely.
So where can we find you, Tom? If we if people want to get links to come find you on Instagram or your website, etc.
So on Instagram and Facebook at Time Electrics. Our website is currently our old domain, which is Tom's Van Build Consultancy. That's soon to be amended. But as you can imagine, with the cost of domains, it's something that is in the process. But primarily, everything that we do is through Instagram. So if you are on Instagram, just head over to Tiny Build Electrics and you can find us there. So that's more or less the long and short of it. Email is
comment now. I think if you do them here, it goes to Facebook and YouTube. That's just going on to Facebook. Oh, it's my terrible keyboard there. Sorry. Yeah, we will put them in for you, Tommy. Well, the last question, and we did promise one more question, didn't we? And I suppose, Muddy Marvelous, we should read yours about from back here.
I think it was.
Yeah.
What is a man cave, Muddy Marvelous? I'm curious.
You don't know what a man cave is?
No, it's a man cave. Or am I not allowed in one because of my lack of manliness?
Probably not. It's like a place you have nice big TV, game station and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Well, there's not much room for one of those in here. His question is, have you thought about widening the business and offering greener energy solutions to, say, residential properties or man caves?
Obviously we do work with some let's say off-grid like outhouses, let's say. So we do work with some sort of occasional sort of homesteads or just off-grid buildings. So for example, I'm working on a garden project for a chap in Germany who wants to power affect it a little bit like a man cave, I guess. So beer fridges and stuff out in the garden, and a water pump for a water feature in the garden. So yeah, we do work with numerous different applications, whether it's vans or boats or small off-grid buildings and outhouses. Absolutely. With regards to domestic, it's not something that we're looking at going into as is, purely because we're kind of snowed under as is, which is obviously great. But yeah, it's
Muddy Marvelous has just joined on. Right, let's try this then.
We've not done this before.
Right, we're going to add you in now. Sorry, I don't know your first name, but I know I've seen your username for years though.
I don't know if you can hear me, guys, but I can't hear
So
a damn thing.
welcome. Did that answer your question all right then? I'm not sure if did you you're probably trying to join, I think, as Tom was answering it maybe. Can you hear us? No, I think I'm having issues hearing us that. No. Well, sorry about that.
Well,
Nearly worked. We'll try again next time.
Almost there. We were almost there.
Yeah, we almost we had visual, but just no audio, I don't think. Okay.
Okay, brilliant.
And that's the wrap up. Thank you very much for coming on, Tom.
You're more than welcome. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, I really appreciate
We'll post
it.
your links now. If you could just DM me some links, actually, and I'll put them into this little comments thing, and anybody who wants
Absolutely.
to follow up with you can catch you on there.
Yeah, if anyone tuned in late, I think you can either start the video again or it will be on the YouTube channel.
YouTube's going to be on, yeah. And in
Yeah.
the files section to the group, there's going to be a list of the live interviews there. Thank you very much, Tom. Good luck with your call to the US.
Thanks.
I'll see you
Awesome.
soon.
Yeah, we'll no doubt be in touch soon. You know, for maybe another conversation, maybe with a beer this time.
Definitely with
Yes,
beer.
it's going to be
Yeah.
for me.
Sounds good.
I'm getting really excited about this. Tomorrow?
Yes, damn right.
Thanks,
Take care,
Tom.
guys.
Next
All
time.
the
Bye.
best.
See you
See ya.
soon. Bye.
Okay. Everybody else, thank you very much for coming. If you enjoyed that, please do share it. In fact, you can't share it, can you? It's in the group. Share the group, tell
Share
people
the
about
group,
it,
yeah.
invite your friends to the group. Let us know what you liked about the interview, anything you didn't like about it. Who you'd like to see next time.
Yeah, if there's anyone you're quite curious about their business, you want to see if we can get them on here and talk to them, then it would be great to know that for sure.
Yeah.
But thank you for watching.
Cheers. All have a great evening. Good night. We need an outro. Dun, 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 dun. Bye.